Hey Optifold client, this has been a long one because we know how your eyelids can change shape to such a drastic degree, right? From something like almost close to like a single eyelid to like a huge parallel double eyelid. Thank you for filling out the symmetry assessment form because it really gives us a lot of information so I can really break down what kind of case you have. So from the symmetry assessment form, we understand your age 19 to 24. You never use other eyelid tapes or glue. So at least I know that it's not because of other tapes or glue that caused your eyelids to respond and behave the way they do. You mentioned that you had uneven eyelids that started a few years ago. So one thing I want to clarify also is for the uneven eyelids, we know that when one eyelid doesn't match the other, it's uneven. But because of your eyelids can sometimes change from all the way to like a near single eyelid to a parallel double eyelid. So that huge change, did that also happen just a few years ago? So please get back to me about that. You mentioned that the cause, that it's unknown and perhaps it's genetics, and you made a point to mention that you're Peruvian, which is a mix of many ethnicities. So from that, we know that the face shape is a huge representation of your ethnicity. And so if you're going to have genetics of different ethnicities, it's going to give you a very unique face shape. And because of your eyelid crease, it's based on your face shape. So we understand a little bit why your eyelids can change to such drastic degrees. So because of all those changes, we had quite a long conversation over a span of a month. So let me just recap what we discussed. So you sent a bunch of pictures and that was very helpful. And from those pictures, I was able to organize them and show you and put in order from the smallest to the largest double eyelids. And from these pictures, we can also determine that it is your left eye that can actually change to a much higher position compared to your right eye. Your right eye does change, but it doesn't quite get to the highest height that the left eye can do. So that's something that we're going to take note of. And that is something that will help us determine which crease location is the most natural for you, because your eyelids can change so much. So from those pictures, I wanted to see how the eyelid behaves when it's folding at the higher position. So you sent a bunch of videos over a span of a few weeks to cover all those different ranges. And now here we are, we're able to figure out and give you my insights. So here we notice take note of the right eye and the left eye. Your left eye was always habitually able to fall at a higher height compared to your right eye. So we know that there's a certain range where as the left eye folds at such a high position, it's going to be really unreasonable to expect the right eye to do the same. So we're not going to be, so that's going to eliminate that eyelid configuration as your most natural one, right? We're going to go for something that's more in the middle. So here we are back to the first few pictures. What I think is the most natural for you is this configuration. The reason why I didn't choose E, because as you can see, as the left eyelid begins falling higher, it's showing something like this micro crease, compared to your right eye, which is going to have a hard time showing that. It's going to have to really fall much higher, which means that if the right eye is going to naturally fall much higher, it means that the left eye is going to fall even higher, and that's going to give a really unnatural look. So this is why E is no longer an option. I think D is the best bet, because it will allow you to showcase like how big your double eyelids can be, you know. I didn't like see that much because it's still quite small. The crease is in fact almost like a crescent crease, and I know that you're a mix of different ethnicities, so that probably wouldn't be natural. So what's most natural is D. So now that we figure excuse me. So now that we've figured this out, please contact me on Cacao Talk, because once we begin using the Optifold program, your case, because it's a mix of different ethnicities, for sure it'll be a lot easier for the crease to form if you had guidance for me to check over the videos to make sure the tape is placed properly. Because also for your case, you will be required to leave somewhat of a gap between the bottommost edge of the F tape and to the lash line. And that's something where having an expert to see how you place it will be very helpful for you to learn as fast as possible, so you can apply the tapes consistently in the same manner and get the results that that's expected. So because we know how your skin can change, the eyelid skin and the crease can change so much, that is actually a good sign, because it shows that it hasn't really settled into like a permanent state. So we can actually influence it to settle at a permanent stage of our choosing. So we're going to choose the most natural crease so that it can also become more stable much more faster. Okay, so I'll talk to you then, and talk to you next time.